guys, Miss Charlie here with a video about my makeup calendar. I've mentioned this a few times as to how I use my eyeshadows, my eyeshadow palettes, because I have a lot. And I do have more coming and we'll be ordering a few more. So by the time this video goes up, I will have, if not 170 or a little more, or a little less than 170, between 165 and 170 palettes, eyeshadow palettes. So with having so many palettes, how do you use them all? How do you decide which ones you're going to use? Because a lot of people get stuck in a rut. They have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, but they use the same ones over and over and they forget about others. How do you give your makeup the love that it deserves? Because you've spent the money on it, you like it. How do you use it? You only have 2 eyes, so many hours in the day, so many days in the year. How do you use it? Well, this is how I personally decide how to use my eyeshadow palettes. And it's a little tedious. I mean, if you have a lot, if you have a big collection, it's a little tedious to do this. But even if you have a small collection, this might still work for you, so you can rotate things and use things. If you have a smaller collection, you might be able to just put them all on a calendar and then go from there. But if you have a bigger collection and you want to pull out things that you haven't used, you forgot about, things like that, this might work for you. So these are just the tools here that I use. A calendar, obviously you can use whatever calendar you want. Calendar in your phone, calendar, a desk calendar. This is just a calendar that I get from the dollar store. I get one every year. This one has cats on it because I love cats. But with the current situation, I don't wear makeup every day. I used to wear makeup at least 6 times a week because I work during the week and then I would, do stuff on the weekends. And Sunday was almost the only day that I didn't wear makeup, unless I went to church or something like that. I didn't really wear a lot of makeup on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday, I was wearing makeup. Now that we are at home, I don't wear it as much, but I still wear it because I have a lot of it and I want to get use out of it. And it also, even though you're in the house, it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel put together. You're not just, sitting, even if you're sitting in your pajamas, you just feel a little bit more confident. And, and if you are a makeup lover and you want to play around with it, it's, it's there, use it. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I will do a look or film something, post it. On Saturday, they're blank because on Saturday, I might use something that I just got in, or I might film something, but I don't know what. So I usually leave those blank and then I figure those out later on. So if I'm waiting for something to come in, I might go ahead and use that on Saturday and, film it. So I leave those open. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm using something at some point. So this is how I write it on my calendar. Really simple. I write the brand and then what palette it is. So then I see it already in front of me. Oh, this is what I'm going to be using. And this I've already done for the month of March. I do them a month in advance so I can see them, see what I'm going to be doing. And since we're in the last week of February when I'm filming this, I went ahead and did March's. So I'm using a lot of ColourPop, a lot of BH next month, which is fine with me. So that's the way it looks. But to get to this point, I have my little book here that I did get from the dollar store. It's just a notebook. And it has the brands that I have in my collection, and then it has all of my eyeshadow palettes written out, and then I just keep adding to it. So what I do is I write these all, well, not all, but write these all out on a little sticky note. You can get these at the dollar store, just a little sticky sticky note like this. Write down the brand and the name of the eyeshadow palette. Fold it up and put it into a little bag. You can put it in a little bag, you can put it in a jar. It's up to you. Put in a little plastic bag. These are just 2 little Velcro bags that I have. Excuse me. So this is where they all go into this bag. They're all folded up in here. So, you know, are you watching TV or watching a movie, you can just sit down and write everything out and put it in here. Put it in your little bag or your little jar, whatever it is that you have. And then this is how I'm gonna keep a couple extra in there so I can add as I go along. And then I just write them all down and fold them up, and they're all different colors. I don't know what it is, you just pull it out. So when it comes time for me to do, you know, the next month's pick, I just go in and pick one, and then that tells me what I'm gonna use, and then I have to commit to using it, whether I, you know, want to or not. So this one is saying I'm supposed to use the Tribe by Juvia's, one of my favorite palettes. So that's what I would use. I would write that on my calendar. After I pull it out, then I put it in another bag so it doesn't go back in there, so I don't keep pulling the same one out. So then this would go into this bag or a different container. So it would go in here. These are ones that I've already pulled and used. So that would go in there. I'm gonna keep that out because I've already picked for March. So this would go back in here. So then every time I pull one, I write it on my calendar. And then I put it in here. So once this is empty, then these will get poured back into here and you start all over again. So, and as you keep adding, of course, it's gonna take a little bit longer each time for you to, you know, go through your stash depending on how big your stash is. So again, I have 100 and some palettes, so it's gonna take me a lot longer, especially with not using makeup eyeshadows as much as I used to, going from 6 days a week to 4 days a week. So it's gonna take a little bit more time, but it's really, really simple. You can convert this any way that works best for you. You can go onto your computer and put in all of your eyeshadow palettes, print them out, and then cut them out and fold them up and put them in your containers, and then just have them sitting on your table. Have one labeled for to use and one labeled for used. So then that makes you commit to using that particular eyeshadow palette. So even if it's, you know, you're feeling colorful that day, but the eyeshadow that's on the list might not be so colorful, you can still throw other things in, because I have plenty of pigments. I have loose pigments and things like that, and glitters. You can add to it, but you still have to commit yourself to use that particular palette. Makes you use it, and then it gives it some love, because then you find out you might really enjoy that palette. But again, you can throw other things in with it, and I have lots of pigments. I have lots of pigments in this drawer here. Lots of pigments. I mean, I have like ColourPop pigments. I have Wet n Wild pigments. I have glitters. The Super Shock shadows, you can, you know, put those in there too as one of your things, Super Shock shadows. Or what I also do is also, when putting the eyeshadows, the brand and the eyeshadow palette, put the brand. Just have one that says ColourPop. So then when you pull out that, you can use whatever ColourPop you have in your collection. You can just use ColourPop that day. Or I also put a couple that say open, just to give you some playtime. So Monday you might have to use ColourPop. Tuesday you might have to use, I don't know, a Melt palette. I'll say the Melt Muerte palette. Wednesday you have to use the Juvia's Masquerade. Thursday you might have to use, I don't know, we'll just say a Wet n Wild palette. And then Friday, it might say open, which means you can use whatever you want. You know, that gives you a little bit of a break. So, and I have this whole bag of, these are MAC, these are MAC pigments. I have lots of pigments. This whole bag is full of MAC pigments. So on a sheet, I will have MAC, and then that's what I will use. Or I'll have one sheet that says Wet n Wild, one sheet that says ColourPop, one sheet that says Tarte. So when I pull that out, I know I can use whatever Tarte palette, whatever ColourPop that I have, whatever I want to do, I can use just that brand. So I can pull out those items and be like, hey, you know, let me go through these and see what I have, because in there's a lot of ColourPop I have in my collection that I might not use, like these pigments. I used these the other day. I'm like, I forgot I had these because these are really, really pretty. So when it came up ColourPop, I used these. And then on my calendar for March, I have MAC. So I did pull MAC. So I have MAC on this day, and then I have Tarte on this day, Lorac, and Makeup Geek. So I have them all separate. So in the bag or your container, you have all of your eyeshadow palettes by brand and the name. Then you write down all of the brands that you have, and then put those on individual ones too. And then throw a couple in there that say open. This was from this month. Throw a couple in there so when you pull it out and say open, you can do whatever you want. So this is what I have for the month of February. Today is the 24th when I'm filming this, but I didn't do the soiree one. Sometimes you can, you know, give yourself a mulligan. I did not do this one. I did something different. But Friday I will be using the Melt Recently Deceased. And I am waiting for a couple of things to come in. So if those come in between now and Saturday, because Saturday is open, I will probably use one of those and film a video with it. So that's why I leave those open. But then sometimes if I don't have anything new, I can still just go in here, pull one out, and that's what I'm gonna use on that day. No matter what, this is what I'm gonna use, because again, with all the things that I have to use it. I don't wanna buy things and then not use it, and it just sits there and it doesn't get used. I spent the money on it, I want to use it. So this is how I get use out of my eyeshadow palettes, by using them this way. So I can't say, no, yeah, I do want to use this one, but then, I want to use this one, but no, I'm gonna go by what's on here unless something comes up and I, decide to change my mind like I did today. I did it for a different reason, because I wanted to go ahead and do our look for this week. If you don't follow me on Instagram, me and a few friends, we post a editorial Unicorn Fridays look every Friday. We have some type of a theme. Right now we're going through the rainbow. This week we are posting another green look, and then next week is blue. So I was doing my green look for today, which I did do a live showing you the colors that I use. So check that out on my Instagram as well. So that's why I did not use the Soiree Diaries, but I will work it in somewhere else. So if my stuff doesn't come in this week on Saturday, I'm gonna use the Soiree Diary since it is on my list, and I'm gonna put it in there somewhere. So that's how I work it. And you do that according to what's going on in your life, things like that, what your collection demands, so that you can pull all that stuff out, go through those things. If you do need to do a declutter, take a day just for you, a Saturday for instance, order you a pizza, grab you a bottle of wine, put on some Netflix or whatever, pull out all of your eyeshadow palettes, pull them all out, look through them, do any declutter, a nice little declutter, or have your girlfriends come over, go through a declutter and see the things that you really want to keep, really don't want, get rid of the things that are just there, and then put the ones that you do want in your bag or your container, and then get that all written out, and then start your makeup calendar. You know, if you want to pan things, you can do the same thing with this. Put the things that you want to pan in here, pull them out, and put them on your calendar. You can do that as well. And I'm doing some panning right now, so I will be doing another video here soon of the things that I started panning with in February and where I am. I also posted on Instagram because I did do pretty good for the month in hitting pan and also using up a couple things, and then I already have my list for the month of March. So, but that was about it. It's really simple. I mean, it's tedious if you you know, if you're not one of those people that are really tedious. It's really easy to do. You know, you can sit down and do this while you're watching TV, or you can do this on your computer, print them all out, and then cut them, or have them, you know, if you have a child, you know, old enough that can help you, cut it out, fold them up, and put them in the containers for you. It's a nice little project that you can do. You know, like I said, order your pizza, watch some Netflix, have a bottle of wine or beer, and just go ahead and do it. And it doesn't take too much time. And then I get a lot of use out of my collection because my collection keeps growing. So I want to continue to use it, and then give you feedback on whether I like it, whether I don't, whether I'm going to get rid of it, you know, I'm tired of it or whatever. So that's about it. Not a whole lot, but let me know your thoughts, any questions, any suggestions that you might have for me that I can do things in a different way. I do thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your patience. Hope everyone is safe and well, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.